Well, I mean, with the amount of times I've done this course, I have a few favorite classes that we always do for different reasons. Like I always find the brain class really interesting because I'm interested in like the brain. But I think the one that I find myself using most often and has really helped me would be our beliefs class, the one where we do the work.
Yeah.
Like I've told you a couple of times, Lainey, where I've caught myself doing it when I'm having a bad day. And I'll even include the class that I think had the most emotional effect on me. I didn't really expect it to, because shadow work always usually gets to me, always, because I try to do different shadows when I do shadow work. And I ended up choosing the same shadow as I did for our fear class because they kind of tie in together. But when we did the fears, it hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. And I remember being really emotional that entire class. But it had such a huge effect on me that I actually went out and like that the next day, I think later that evening, immediately like went and like started talking to my mom and my sister about the thing that I had put as my biggest fear. Because I felt like it had such a huge impact on me that I didn't expect. So I thought it was really, really important that I just get that like away. Because one thing that has always changed through all my times doing the course is my core values. A couple have stayed the same. But a couple have always changed. And so I'd be really interested to see the progression of different core values depending on which stage of like the past 2 years I've been in. But
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned, I mean, you've been my assistant, for all of the classes, but I love that you mentioned that every time you do it, you get something different out of it.
yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we're a different person every single day,
Yeah.
right? And the more that you sort of like the repetition of using these tools and the awareness, you're building, more neural pathways, and you're making this a normal part of your experience, the internal world and the external world. You're taking accountability and responsibility for your internal processing of every situation. And the more practice that you give to it, the more you become better at it, which is why I say to you guys, come to any future class. You're welcome. You're welcome if you need a refresher, because you're going to be a different you in the future. You really are.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the same stuff is repeated, you'll get deeper or a different aspect, and you'll get something different about it.